respected dignitaries and honorable chief guests and esteemed speakers and also distinguished delegates and dear participants joining us from across the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all to day 3 of the 21 Days International Winter School Training Program. As we move ahead in this promising new year, we are truly grateful for your enthusiastic participation and continued engagement, which has already made the first 2 days of this program a great success. The completion of day 2 marked another important milestone in our academic journey filled with insightful decisions and meaningful interactions and valuable learning experiences. As we step into day 3, we do so with a renewed energy, deeper curiosity, and a stronger commitment to learning, collaboration, and excellence. The beginning of a new year symbolizes fresh perspectives, renewed purposes, and strengthening resolve. May this journey ahead continue to inspire innovation, foster global collaborations, and contribute meaningfully to your academic and professional growth. Let us move forward together with optimism and cooperation and a shared vision for advancing agriculture science and sustainability. What a remarkable way to begin this academic year with learning, innovation, and global engagement in agriculture. We are delighted to have you have your continued presence as we process and progress further in this enriching 21 days. And on behalf of Just Agriculture and the ISASTR Society and our esteemed collaborations, it is my great pleasure to once again extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to all of you to the 21 Days International Winter School Training Program on the theme Revolutionizing Agri System through AI, Digital Tools, and Green Technologies. This International Winter School is a unique academic initiative that brings together eminent scientists, academicians, researchers, industry professionals, and policymakers from across the world on a common platform. In today's rapidly evolving agricultural landscape, the integration of artificial intelligence, digital innovation, and sustainable green technology is no longer optional. It is essential for ensuring food security, climate resilience, environmental sustainability, and farmer prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, as we are commenced day 3, we look forward to another insightful, interactive, and knowledgeable rich session filled with through provoking lectures and engaging discussions. Over this, now before we proceed further, let us once again acknowledge and express our sincere gratitude to our esteemed collaborating institutes VNMKV Parbani, US Raichur, Laval University, Canada, ICR, and BPGR New Delhi, whose valuable support and collaboration has made this international academic possible. With this, let us move forward and begin day 3 with enthusiasm and dedication as we continue our shared journey towards building a sustainable, inclusive, and resilient agriculture future. Now, it's a great pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. It is now my proud privilege to introduce our distinguished guest for day 3 of this 21-day International Winter School Training Program. It is my great pleasure to warmly welcome Dr. Syed Ismail, Director SIFA, to this distinguished platform. Dr. Syed Ismail is a respected leader with rich experience in the field of agriculture and allied sciences, and his contribution toward fostering innovation, capacity building, and sustainable agriculture development are truly commendable. We are honored to have Dr. Syed Ismail with us today, and we look forward to his valuable presence and insights during the program. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Dr. Syed Ismail. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I will be talking on the theme that is, can India be a global force from people putting up the will explore some of the topics. I'm an agricultural professional and study.
Sorry to disturb you, sir, but actually your voice is not audible to us properly.
Is it audible now?
Yes, sir, it is audible, but it is breaking. Like,
Now is it?
Now is it audible?
yes, sir, it is audible.
Okay. So I'm an agriculture engineer and I studied in from Coimbatore, basically, and I studied in Bangkok, and I've been from the day I graduated of years, I'm in business all the time. I worked in most of my lifetime in electronics, and the last 8 years, uh, the gap of 20 years in industrial electronics, back again to agricultural electronics. So you'll find some talks about mechanization and farm mechanization. I will talk about general about the current status of agriculture in India, including some of the policies, the farmers, how they are, and how we are producing today, and about the education and what we can do to become global. I would like to first acknowledge and thank my teacher, Dr. Gajan Singh, and his recent book published by now this year. Earlier, he was, and one chapter in farming I had to compile the inputs of almost 15 experts. Now, let's see the strengths. This is called SWOT analysis. Most of you might know. What are our strengths to become a global? So we have the largest caribou land. We also have the largest research team in the we have really blessed with different climates, soil conditions. It's really few countries in the world. We also have a demographic advantage. We have right now, probably for the next 5 to 10 years, we have a lot of things. After 10 years, we have problems. But right now, we have a lot of things who can work compared to many countries. We have also a large number of education. We produce a lot of graduates in all disciplines in agriculture. And we also have a huge agricultural base with almost 80% of 70-80% population dependent on agriculture for more than that. What are our weaknesses till now? Our weaknesses, we work in silos. For example, an agronomist work on his own, the horticulturist works on his own, and people have really not collaborated that much as required. That is an industry works independent. We'll see some of the features afterwards. Point. But I think this is one of the biggest weakness what we have. Next is we have the extension department and a lot of work, but really when you walk into the farmers, you don't find much work. There's a lot of work to be done. Educating on the technology available and what is good, what is bad. Monocropping, unfortunately, you are into it. For example, in Maharashtra, we grow cotton, soybean, also, and many places only had or wheat, some sugarcane. I mean, that's all we do. We don't have like 50 years back, what we used to do. We don't have the if multiple crops. We don't use excessive chemicals and water very much. We have poor infrastructure like roads, for example, excepting of course Punjab, Haryana, where the Pandis made the roads, but still the transport infrastructure, storage infrastructure, they are all very poor. Our supporting policy will see also not so much supporting to achieve this goal. And now the another important part is we lack. You see, I think you walk into the field and see the sugarcane field, soybean field, you will not find any nation. You find only some tribes. What are the opportunities? We have wide variety of crops. We have the experience. Our farmers have been growing this earlier times. If you ask your grandfather, he will tell you how he grew groundnuts, how he grew sorghum, he grew um, uh, sunflower, for example. So much variety. So we can produce it. And we can supply around the year. We don't have only a climate, cold climate, very warm. We have very good export potential and it's growing now. And all the things we can live with it. Threats right now we have is the irreversible damage. Soil we have done almost. We're going to do it if we don't take up now. Our health is deteriorating and we have a lot of input from the agriculture side. We see that. And we also have network because we say 80% are in agriculture, but actually the employment still is the issue. So we'll see how to overcome this, some of the possibilities, how to improve our strength and not worry about much of weakness will go away, but remove the threats. So probably we can. What is the current scenario? I will go fast in this slide, current scenario, to tell you how India is there, how we can become a global food power. See, we produce actually more than required. In many of the rice, wheat, we produce more. And even sugarcane, we have almost, I think, 30%. We're producing 20% more for 5 years. That's how we diverted it. Now, sugarcane. So, but this is not a bad news. Good, we are growing very good. Unfortunately, we have some issues with the use of chemicals more. So we have some problems with exporting some of the products. Now it's getting clear slowly. But if you see it, the right side danger, what we have is edible oils. It's the biggest problem. We import edible oil only next to diesel, the crude oil. That's the biggest problem. We don't grow enough edible oils. There have been some movements we'll talk about detail. Regarding poultry and meat, we produce more than. And milk, of course, we are one of the biggest producer of milk. Cotton, yes, yes and no. Right now, cotton is not a very good shape, but India has been a very good cotton grower, and we have issues in cotton growth, and we are no more the number one to stay in cotton. And sugar, of course, we produce more. We produce more, and then problem is in producing more, we have damaged a lot of soil. There are a lot of silent soil in sugar also. So fish production, yes, we have improved a lot in fish production, which has been ignored so far. So it looks very good for India. Actually, it's growing very good in food production, and people have been talking last 40 years. I think always they talk about green revolution, produce more, people are hungry. It doesn't exist actually for the last 7, 8 years or 10 years. You see, it doesn't exist. 20 years almost. We are self-sufficient in food. Only problem is the farmers are not rich. Farmers are poor, very poor. So farming itself is not profitable. There are other issues for it. And of course, for the academic also, we have issues because of that also. We'll see that in the next one. Now, deficiency of soil, you see, on the left side, soils, for example, copper is okay. We are 94%. So what is missing for us is sample 26%. That's fine. But think about organic carbon, essence, red color. So we lost everything actually. When you see here, deficient Indian soils are very deficient. These are all latest data, probably 22, 24 data, most of them. Right side, you see micronutrients. We are not doing so bad as it was claimed before 5, 7 years. I know nitronutrients are almost comparable to the global standard. Yes, slight difference we have, but that is not a big issue. The main problem is the left side, what we see organic carbon, nitrogen. The soil health, for example, I give small pointers to you to understand. The NPK should be 4:2:1. That's the normal standard required. We have in 2024, this is 2023 was much higher. 2022, slightly reduced, 9.8 to 3.7. It's too high. The problem with the nitrogen, if it is somewhere else, it becomes useless. And how do we apply filters when we go to the fields? I remember asking a banana farmer how it like what like what's in how will we able to do. But we have to do something. Then degradation is the biggest problem. The right side of the bottom slide, the pie chart, you see why can degradation happen. Soil erosion, water erosion. The problem is soil erosion because wind and water. Because we don't have any more forests. Inside of we used to have farms, forests, trees. Cut down trees, we don't have. This is the issue, which is 30%. Imagine how it would be in the next year for them. Fertilizers, chemicals, even probably the third or fourth of the import budget. That's how the government also reduce fertilizer. Unfortunately, import is done by somebody else, and somebody gives estimation, and somebody distributes. So actually, I don't think farmers want to apply more. It's a very, very critical when you put the form, when you understand not only the farmers don't have any guidance. Yeah. Even the soil has got issues of really not bad. You put in the field of seed. So unless you know what is your disease, how will you take a medicine? See, if you look at that Indian health, we had a life expectancy of somewhere about 40 years. Now,
Sorry to disturb you again, sir, but your voice is breaking. Like it
okay,
is not. Yes.
I will remove the mic.
Now you can hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So how India achieved this medical health issue, how we solved it. People have 70 years longevity now by having a lot of blood tests, blood labs. You can have testing your blood, your body. So many in India, in almost every town has, but we don't have soil testing facility. So this is one of the main issues we have to see. Then I will go, we're getting slow, I'll go slightly faster. Another important point, what we always say is 1 rupee saved is 2 rupee won. Okay. So it's the food wastage is very high in India. This very less people talk about it. But I think the reality, when you see the figures here, we really waste a lot of food. And especially, I'll come back to show you in the next slide also. See, the farmer gets only about 30% of the sale price. Okay. Sale price may only for 30%. Wastage, you can see the annual wastage of food. See, the problem in India is the farm to table is the highest wastage, whereas in developed countries, it is from the table to fork, to the mouth. They trash a lot of food. But here we don't trash, but wastage is very high. But whenever you talk in any forum of wastage, people say, no, everybody in India consumes. These people don't walk out and see in the field. Of course, a farmer doesn't waste. It's a storage places. It gets wasted. Before it reaches the last mile, it gets wasted. There were some projects taken by people how the final, your street wala, bhaiya who sells you the vegetables, how we can store the vegetables properly. And these vegetable losses also the food loss, we have to think about it. And one solution is community storage. Processing must be local. You grow the food, what is required locally first. Okay, you cannot import everywhere from one state to another the food, even the regularly what use vegetables, which you can grow easily locally. So this is the biggest problem we face again in India, where you can grow almost most of the crops in most of the places. Still, we transport a lot of food within the country. Now, this again, one thing I would say is the burning issues of grain drain. What do you say, the loss? And here always we argue, fight the people. How much is the real FCI godowns? What are the losses? There are no proper figures. Really speaking, no proper figures. They are all significantly higher than what is reported. That much that I want to say. That is a waste. We can stop it. India doesn't have an automated storage silos. Even the 4 years back, what they built up in Punjab and Haryana, they are all manual controlled. They are from, I think, Canadian company or something came and installed, but minimum cost that we are taken. So we are not grown much into grain storage or any of the food storage in India. You see, the biomass is another one thing now people are talking, which has got a great potential. Okay. For example, I was surprised to see 60% of banana biomass is waste. Most of the places, banana. I remember from South, we eat almost everything of a banana, the farmer. Starting from the stem, leaf is used, everything is flower, we eat, everything is used. But throughout the country, when you see this is a statistic say 60% banana biomass is waste. So biomass recycling or putting it back into the soil itself is the biggest problem. This becomes an environmental hazard now, the biomass. So this we have to improve. I'm coming with the lighter points only beginning before we go to the start. Now, the question of what is required to change is what is the modern agricultural discipline? What do you mean by modern discipline? Right now, we know about agriculture is agronomy, soil science, entomology. If I ask you, for example, how many of you, I don't know, remember still what do you call rice, a botanical name? I remember still what I studied as Varesa sativa. And I can ask you a lot of questions about people don't remember. People don't study nowadays. Even though I'm an agriculture engineer, still I went through all agronomy, all the stuff. And that helps a lot to understand real problem. Today, this is from China and Western countries, how they changed, what it shows now. This is from China Agriculture University, for example. There is no more division like agronomy, soil science, entomology, plant pathology, engineering. No, it's not like that. It's divided. The people, for example, when you go any project, there'll be mixed people. I myself had it in both in Bangkok as well as in Germany when I worked. And I know I had always people together from different departments working together. There is no division that this project must, for example, today we talk about any of the conservation agriculture. We'll see what is it afterwards. That's done by only soil scientists. There are seldom you find one or two engineers. And if you go to polyhouses, greenhouses, you don't find engineers. You find only horticulturists sitting there. So I don't say they cannot do it. But I think you have to involve people, because then only you can make something together. Alone you cannot work. And that's how this modern agriculture discipline is evolved by experience. People say, for example, how many people really bother about crop and animal production in India? Whenever you talk about it, people say, so we have a small farms, so small farmers, so we can't do it. When you talk about mechanization, they say small farms, you can't do it. It is not true. It is not true. We have to change our mindset and think about it. Why not small farms can do? What is it? What is the problem of it? So, for example, animal production, I remember 3-4 years back, they told a cow who are having 6 cows or something, if the person comes to know the cow is on heat earlier, he saves 1 month of milk, period. Okay, that means when the cow, when it's in the heat, it will restless, it will move its leg and whatever it is to identify it. And they did it finally. So this type of things, see, it's about 1 month of milk is almost 8% for the farmer. So small interventions are required. We have to think about total agriculture as together, not individually. Not thinking that I have best variety and do it. We have how many thousands of patents? How many thousands of research publications? How much we claim? But really in the field, when you go, what do you see it? This is where the problem, because they are not together. For example, we make polyhouses. I remember the person who was in, he's no more now. He used to tell me that what they made in Uttarakhand, the same they try to adopt in Kerala and Hyderabad. In Hyderabad, you find 500 polyhouses unused. It's about 2-3 years back scenario, because it's too hot. It doesn't work. Climate doesn't work the same climate in Uttarakhand and here. So this is a problem of not discussing together. So I would suggest all of you think for a while. It doesn't make a great, an agronomist is something, he's more knowledgeable than a genetics guy. No, it is not true. It's working together only will make for us to achieve as a real global food bowl. This is exactly what I told here, what I'm telling. We work today in silos, which we should try to stop. Okay? We should try to stop. Think about yourself. Don't say it's not my domain. I know some of the people who are the soil conservation guys. They say, I'm an engineer, but I'm not working in machinery. But I ask them question, what about a pump? Do you know Indian pumps have only efficiency of 20 to 25, 30% maximum efficiency, whereas they can do 70 to 80% efficiency, which means ultimately around 25% of the electricity used for agriculture can be saved. Think about the figures. I mean, I present in many places. The details I'll share with you, those who want. But it's really astonishing how ignorant we are not to follow when we know things we have in hand, because we don't work together. We want to compete, and we want to prove that I am better than somebody else. And this is the basic problem in Indian agriculture blocking it. You see, for example, here we see the world realized tillage has no real benefit. Tillage means you plow the soil. Okay, every crop you plow the soil. It makes no sense. It's really not doing anything. Actually, it damages the soil. Still, you'll find all of the plowing people. Soil compaction, hard pan, everything we have to do that. Now, for example, here, right side, you see, we are not working about productivity and efficiency. We are not comparing it. We say farmers, you have to produce more because we'll be in hunger. And we use 90% of water. 90% of water used in agriculture for drinking, household, we use hardly 2.5%. And industry, power plants, maybe another 3-4%. But 90% in agriculture, we waste. It's not required. If you want to ask me the figures of 35% USA is using and 50% China. Why you have to use 90%? There is no reason. But has it been really put properly? We have a different work done, ICR, all the research institutes done, but nothing has reached the farmers to tell them over irrigation will actually reduce your productivity. Fertilizers. Do you know only 30% of fertilizers we apply reaches the plant? Rest of them wasted. Worst part is chemicals when you spray. Hardly 89% only goes to the plant or the insect or disease. Rest of them, 90%, it goes into the soil, water, and the air. Still we spray, we don't have proper equipment to solve this problem. We don't have energy inputs, we don't calculate. For example, simple power factor correction will give you almost 10 to 12% of the energy saving. Very less people are working on it. I'm talking, it's not a solution we'll find overnight, but people must be aware these are all important areas to work, not just to produce better seed only. So rest of the things I have shown you already. I'll cover a little bit because we are talking about how we can become a global. So we have to start from somewhere beginning. That's academia and research. Okay. That's where most of the people, this audience is from, as I heard. So when you look at academia and research, what we have to do, it has to work on improving inputs use efficiency. If I apply fertilizer, I must get at least 70%, 80% fertilizer used, or 90%, not just 30%. If I spray, at least let me get 20, 30%, not to waste everything on the air and soil and water. We have to mitigate climate change. The whole work research has to be focused on it. We have to emphasize on soil health, water quality, and environment also. Food, of course, everyone now also in India where they want no chemicals. The awareness is great. Actually, everybody says there are no farm labor available. They are available. They are expensive. That's all. When, for example, cotton picking used to cost 300 rupees per day, now it is 600 to 800 rupees per day. Because people don't want to work for very cheap labor. And it's true, there's nothing wrong in them. We have to rework out and see the whole issue, how to solve it. Now they have to work on easy accessibility to food on demand. Food on demand means you should get from nearby, whenever you want. Not necessarily you have to store for a long time, the consumers. Change in food preferences is again, we have to see in the future, when another 10 years, 20 years, we have to see that we won't have much of animal food available because we won't have land, we have population, there are a lot of other work. We'll not worry much on it. It's only for scientific research people have to think about it. Now, this is academic research is the persistence is the problem. There is no continuity in academic research. Somebody does a master's or a PhD work and he leaves, everything is left there. 1 year, 2 year, everything is there. Tell me, which university really work what they have done is put as a demo piece forever, for 10 years, or whatever it is, the farmers can come and see. I could not find any one of them till now for that law. Excepting some polyhouse, looks like structure, but nothing inside. That's what you find most of the places. And the most research is done to publish papers. Okay? And publish papers means or file patents. This has to change. You have to change. Because a patent, I'm telling you truth, is 40,000 rupees if you pay, you get a patent in India, almost. Okay? Whether it's useful, useless, doesn't matter. You get a patent inside. But that is not going to help the Indian agriculture. And as a professional, you should be ashamed that you're not contributing to your profession really. And that is what will change. If you change, you will change the country. If you want to go with a mass flow, no, I just want to publish papers and get thousands of publications, then I get promotions. That has to change. Left side, you see, we don't have teachers. They educate there, they graduate there, then they teach there, same institution. There is really a lot of problems for sabbatical is not there. And in West countries, you will find professors go to industry on deputation and work in industry, and industry people come there. Recent NEP they made getting professors from outside industry, but I have not seen it working any of the university till now. I visited maybe a dozen of them, but none of them is working really, the concept, because the people who are there, they don't want outsiders to come inside. This has to change. Now, student internship is one of the things. You're all students. See, you have most of the places you have, like engineering colleges, everything, they have 6 months internship. Students are one of the best utility for the academia to use. They can be used for surveys. The student must spend the time in the farm with a farmer. Otherwise, don't give him a degree. Don't give him a degree. Try that. I remember we all grow 10 cents of dryland crops and 10 cents of wetland crop, individual student, when I have studied my BE in agriculture engineering. And this is a must for us. All the work we did, so we know exactly what. And we had extension work. We have to go to the farmers field and talk. That's how we learned all the stuff what we had to do. And today it's not there. The education system has changed. Even the syllabus has changed a lot, become reduced. And so little we learn, and only like hearts which bound with the both sides. I mean, this has to change. So one way for us, instead of others will change, you start reading for yourself. Today you are in a world where your internet is available and all information are available to you. You start asking questions. Why, how? Probably internet can teach you nowadays with ChatGPT or whatever you call. They teach you, maybe not 100% right, but to an extent at least better than your professors, the things who are not willing to teach certain areas, or they are not aware of certain areas. So this has to change. I asked many of the colleges, how many students want to do business? Hardly one in hundreds of 800,000, like that. Nobody wants to go. I recently asked, it's not only for agriculture, it's also IITs. IIT Delhi, one person I asked recently, doing PhD, I told him, what do you want to do afterwards? You want to become again a professor? I mean, this is not, it's endless cycle. We are producing only professors and teachers within the same institute, churning the same thing out. I think you should get out. The world is very big and beautiful outside also. Academic research focus is very important. This is the impact on mechanisms. For example, there's an example, given for Maharashtra, I'm telling you. Focus on the crops grown in Maharashtra while address mechanization. For example, here, you would look at sugarcane, cotton, sorghum, soybean, flowers, grapes, onions, and mangoes. These are the major crops. Where it is then mechanization? None of them. None of them is done mechanization. Sugarcane, little bit now, we'll see it. Then we also have other problems. Agroforestry is very much lacking in India. Agroforestry is money for the farmers. So we have to really work hard on agroforestry. Without forests, without trees, you cannot survive. And they can be very good for a farmer to bring inputs. As a student, a researcher, you must look at agroforestry, starting from bamboo. I think unless you read and study and visit the places, you will not know. You just think only producing rice or wheat will solve the problem. That is a problem. We have to change. And equipment tools, nothing is there for animal, fish, poultry. Poultry still imported some of the equipments. I see the poultry. Horticulture crops, where is harvesting? Nothing, we don't have much. But you see horticulture crops harvested in Europe and Australia. The moment we talk about it, immediately people start saying it's a small farmers cannot afford. We'll see that point also how we can do. You see, you cannot do mechanization unless the crops are grown for that particular mechanization requirement. For example, when you go for cotton harvesting, we have multiple picking. There are many reasons. We will not come back to all the details today. We cannot do it. Cotton picking is around 30% of the cost of cotton growing. Sugarcane, you have to have plant spacing properly. Otherwise, you can't use the harvesters or any of the equipments. We are not willing to do that. Soybean, again, low ground clearance. Right now, they solved, I think Parbani only produced variety 3 years back, I think. So they solved that problem. So soybean can be harvested, but still the harvesting is not so popular. I'm not talking about 1 or 2 places you will show it's working, and other farmers are not willing to adopt. That is wrong. Which farmer will not adopt if he wants to get money out of it? Tell me one farmer who doesn't want to do it if he gains out of that. If he doesn't gain anything, we give suggestions, we are wrong. Tell me how many people are working in IPM, integrated pest management, instead of spraying. Just today, somebody sent me, for example, porcupine. In Tamil Nadu, a guy is using vetiver. Okay, so porcupine smells and goes away down in the beginning of his field. The wild pigs also they can use. That's a real IPM. This today only more somebody has sent me the message of it. It's really surprising how farmers know that, and we force them to go and do spraying. So a lot of matter is there. I have given the link. You can see that afterwards. Doubt is there. You can contact me directly also. I given the scan. I'll give you again. Lastly, I'll show. You can scan that. You can see view the whole presentation as well as you can download also. So research, I given collaborative research, farmers pull needs. We have to see how to do it similar one what I'm giving you. So I will not go through. Those who are interested getting through. One example I give you for chemical application, which I told you 8 to 9% chemicals we apply only or are effective. Rest of them wasted. Okay. Now, for example, this was given to one of the places how to do. What are the environmental effects, fixation level on soils for the different type of spraying? What are the data sets available? Dynamic spray pattern analysis is done by only 1 or 2 manufacturers. And for example, you have to look at very affordable variable rate spraying, okay? Directional spraying directly. There are so many. Electrostatic spraying right now, I think 10 years back, I started electrostatic spraying, I think 30 years back. One student did under me for electrostatic spraying, very first, 35 years, I think. Oh, yes. He retired also, becoming professor, he retired already. So now still we don't find that very much in India. It's imported still from Italy. So this is an example you take like this. If you go, each area you can go and think about it. This information is available to you. You have to only look for it. Like they say, we can bring horse to the water, but water the horse has to drink. So information is available to you all. People are ready to help you, but you in this profession must take the interest to learn it. I will cover 1 minute of the subsidies. We give no subsidies. I will not explain you all. Subsidies we give for buying equipments, right? Subsidy fertilizer. But I think problem is even if you give subsidy, 80%, 90% give some of them. Farmers cannot afford still to buy. Suppose I buy an equipment, how will I update it? How will I maintain it? Who will pay for it? So another option now we're proposing for last several years is the assistance you give to farmers. You give us incentive to them. Suppose a farmer wants to spray a field, let somebody spray for him, and then you pay the spraying cost, a part of it, a service based. So this probably will be more effective than subsidies which are used hardly by rich farmers only nowadays, most of them. Now I'll just go through fast 2-3 minutes on farm mechanization because this is my field, which I told you before we wrote. You see the left side is the power availability is important. How much power we have in a farm, also productivity, also yield also is increased right side. So we have to have more farm power. You see here, Maharashtra is down there, Rajasthan down here, Punjab and Haryana the highest power because they have all the tractors and stuff like that. Whether tractors are really useful or not, different question. And also irrigation pumps, everything. This power is not only electrical and diesel. This includes also mechanical and animal, but nowadays is reduced. Animal is very much reduced. I'm not showing all. Now, you see the right side, left side, see one thing important down. Automation in agriculture, whatever you do, mechanization, only rice and wheat and maize. Nothing else is there. Nothing else is there. You go to any other farm, you will not find anybody doing it. And pending animal and poultry, you don't find. Milk production, you don't find machinery. Vegetable, fruits, fish, storage, you don't have. And you see, even the mechanization what we have, left side you see, no-till farming. Tillage not required, we know it, but 70% of the farms we are using for tillage only. So we are not really concentrating exactly what is required. To enhance the profitability, dignity, and sustainability of farming is what required farm mechanization. It has to attract youth and it has to stop all the wastage what we are doing. Now, but this I'll pass for a while. Now we have so many things in the mechanization we require to work on. These are all in the book also, and so many things we can work on which are not available today. And sugarcane, cotton, hardly we have sugarcane. A little bit now here, harvesting equipment, for example, that only some parts in Maharashtra, one or two, but I think UP fully is again manual cutting. A purchase system है यूपी में. So if you see most of the places, it's all still only human labor is used, most of the things. Cotton also only heavily with. There are reasons people claim, but still nobody works on cotton, first of all. This is one more issue. Then soybean, pulses, millets, they are all the same problem. Livestock, of course, nobody really has worked on it, including the institutes what we have. They don't work because they have very less engineers who can do on mechanization. You require engineers to do some part of mechanization, whichever engineers. They can't do otherwise. It's not easy for others to do. Same way, an agronomist job, an engineer cannot do easily. A soil scientist job, yes, he can learn. If he learns everything, he can do it. But engineering is full mathematics and stuff like that. So bit difficult actually. Now, irrigation fertigation, this I will take 2 minutes to show you what's irrigation fertigation. So irrigation fertigation is, like I told you, is biggest problem is 80-90% water is used. Automated irrigation systems are given by few companies. I think we should not name, but still I think nothing. Metafin, for example, and Jain Irrigation, and some more are there. And they are all, for last 20 years, I know they're trying. And probably till now, hardly 20,000 farms in India are automated, fully automated. Okay. My question is, we have lakhs. Why it's not done is the question. It's the cost. If it's the cost and applicability right now, and the utility, because farmers don't feel need for saving water first, or others also don't impress upon it, and systems are not cheap for them. So I will show you something which how irrigation system look like here. This is how automated system. They got valves. For example, this is 3, 6, 7, 8 valves. And these valves are all in one place in the pump room. And then each one of the part of the field, the pipes are taken. So you have to take throughout the field pipes, water pipes. From one place it's controlled. This is what standard done. Very few recently have tried to do it not from central point, but you can have only the main line controlled, and afterwards all the laterals you can control with valves. It's only few attempted, but not successful much. Again, the cost came into effect. So we thought working. Now it's ready. It's getting tested in Coimbatore. I think probably end of this month or next month will be launched. So this concept which I'm doing now is a remote place, a small box like this, which also can have temperature, humidity measurements, whatever it is. Very low cost, very, very low cost. You won't believe it. And then the valves like this can be controlled in the field directly. And no wires are required. Absolutely no wires from here. This can work even without sunlight. Maybe a week or so, it can turn on valve and something without sunlight also. There's a small battery. The technology is slightly different, what is available, but today all technology. This is a single phase, 3-phase, and all you can do that. And this works like this. I think right side, if you see it, there's one master. It can control many of the slave. One of the nodes can control 5 valves. Suppose even multiple forms can be joined together with only one SIM card you require for one of this device, master device. The rest of them all can control automatically. And automating, scheduling, all the stuff, programs are there. Some information is available in the website, but I think more information will come to you now after the trials are over, tests are done, and we'll be sending it to different places for, again, putting it. Idea is to bring it really affordable, which means the pipe costs around 40,000. Probably the electronic should cost 10,000 rupees, something like that. The idea is instead of putting 40,000 pipes to different plots in the field, and you buy walls for 30,000, 10,000 for electronics, it'll be done. So it'll be easier for you. An existing place you can install directly. Existing where you have manual wall for laterals, you can install the wall and you put a one pole and then put a local node with a battery, which is system you saw in the first picture, it will work. Now I covered 1 minute on the drones applications. Everybody's after drones. Drones are excellent in certain crops, depending on the crop stages, we know it. But still, a lot of works are not done on the drone nozzles. We just put any nozzle you want. I don't know any research institute really working on drone nozzles and spray patterns and all the stuff. This is the biggest problem we face with the drone because it's hazardous. It's environmental, not friendly, and they're not cheap as people claim. Drone is expensive usage. Robots, yes, a lot of talks on robots coming, and you've got small tractors now coming, 1 lakh, 1.5 lakhs, battery operated. It's not required to be battery operated. According to me, don't have a hype. It must be battery operated. It must be affordable, and it must do the job of farming rather than the hype of with the battery I'm giving, so you buy. This farmer will not buy. I'm telling you, you give free also, he will not be able to maintain and use it. So this is what youngsters you should have this one. Now, this is my last slide going to be. So you see in the beginning, we start with the conservation agriculture. Conservation agriculture is the only one that will make us achieve this. And for example, it has done already. We had a burning problem. You know the burning problem. Delhi gets polluted. The last 5 years, it has been reduced to 5%. This information, the person who did this job told just 2 days back. Okay, 2 days back in an address in the big gathering, a scientific gathering, he told 5% only now. The real problem of burning problem will come from the farmers. Farmers are adopting now the principle of conservation agriculture. What this does, very simple, 3 points only. Minimum soil disturbance. Don't unnecessarily disturb the soil, okay? Because microorganisms, everything will die. So don't need to till. But if you ask about really nematode, you had the problem, something, yes, you have to do maybe once in 10 years, it's not every crop you have to do it. No disturb the soil. But you should not leave barren the soil. You should have something growing on the soil. Because see, evapotranspiration, all the soil health will reduce if it's exposed directly to sunlight. That's the main reason. Third is always rotate crops. And don't tell me that you're rotating crops by growing cotton and soybean. Cotton, soybean. That's not rotation of crops. You have to change the pattern because the soil has to get different nutrients from different things you have to do. Only this, I think, we start, all of you learn this very simple principle. India has very less, 4% around. I think conservation agriculture land throughout the world also a bit less, 9% or something. But I think this is what different names are given: traditional farming, natural farming, organic farming, regenerative farming, conservation agriculture. But you see, when you're sick, you don't have to take medicine. But you must know when you're sick. So we must find out whether soil health is bad first. Then take that much of nutrient required, that much fertilizer only. That is implementable in India. If you do that, I'm very sure with less fertilizer usage, I don't think without any fertilizer you can do that. Agriculture. It's not, if you're a sick man, you will die. You have to come back. So that facility must be there. At the same time, use what do you call sensibly all the inputs required. Don't waste them. Be efficient. India will become a global food ball. Thank you for the opportunity. I will give you can scan this and get the whole presentation also. It's available. You can view and also check the line. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. And I would like to say that if anyone have any question, so they can write down on the chat box.